Hello, my name is Ken Hara. Back in 1984, right after I graduated from high school, one of my classmates asked me if I wanted to dig for bottles, for old bottles. And I was like, no. He's like, no, it's kind of good fun. And actually, some of the bottles are worth money. So I told him, yeah, what the hell? I mean, we're not doing anything. So we actually went near his house, started digging, and I found Hutchinson Soda, Pacific Soda Works on the Big Island. So the first one I started digging with was Wade Ishibashi, and that's the friend that I mentioned. And his brother Wally Ishibashi was a big time collector. So that's how I started out. And then maybe about a year after that, I got Glenn Takase, big time collector from Big Island. Started digging together, and I actually started him collecting bottles. First one was only about, I'd say, 200 feet from my friend's house. There was this giant mango tree on a slope, and they were digging in the roots just below the mango tree. So everything was from, I'd say, 1890s to about 1910. That was my first day. And like I said, I found a hutch and I was hooked, super hooked after that. One of the most memorable is I found a straw Arctic Soda Works in Ivalé. But more recently, just this year, I found Fountain Mineral Crown Top. So I think those two are probably my two best finds. The first one, Ivalé, and then the second one was in Nuuanu.
Okay. As a new person who's kind of interested in looking for old bottles or digging and collecting old bottles, what advice would you have for them?
The first one is just remember, treat the land with aloha. So if you're digging, like from Hawaii, always like you want to leave the place better than you found it. For me, I always want permission. I don't do any renegade digging. Before my job would be pretty bad if I got arrested. So it just stuck with me. I'm retired now, but I'm trying to do legal digs, and definitely with the permission of the landowners. And the other one is talk to the old timers and do your research, because you never know, you might have something worth a lot of money, a lot of value, and there are people out there who are going to try to take advantage of you. When I was a young collector, as an example, I found a license plate from, I think it was 1903. I didn't know it was worth a lot, and I traded it for probably a $50 Hutchinson soda, because I was all into the Hawaiian sodas, and not realizing that plate was probably worth $300 to $500. So do your research.
Okay, can you share any tips about digging safely?
Digging safely, never ever dig alone. Try not to, get into the ground to where the ground can collapse. I got a story is in Ivalé we're digging, and there was a piece of land that had collapsed. And I thought I was digging safely. I was in between the collapsed dirt and the wall of dirt. And I was digging perpendicular and not going under. I wasn't tumbling, and I thought I was super safe. But then behind me had collapsed, and where I was, that piece of land enclosed. So I was basically buried 6 feet underground in a trench. And my wife was there with me, and she had dug me out. It took her about 30 minutes to make the hole big enough to where I could come out. And I'm pretty sure if I was there digging alone, I wouldn't be here today.